Where did your behind sleep every night?
At the apartment.
Then you have to pay rent. That's what grown-ups do. I think this is one big giveaway.
Judge Judy.
She's 18 years old. She has the judgment of a turtle.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judy Schuyler. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy. Jeanie Schoephoerster is suing her daughter's former roommate, 18-year-old Valencia Pennington, for unpaid rent and an electric bill.
Order. All rise.
Yeah, it's case number 336 on the calendar in the matter of Schoephoerster versus Pennington.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat.
Mrs. Schoephoerster, according to your complaint, you co-signed a lease. Very foolish. For your daughter and her friend and this young lady.
That's correct.
They all wanted to rent an apartment together and play grown-up. And nobody else's parent would co-sign a lease for them, so they came to you.
Correct.
Ah, perfect. Is this your oldest child?
No, my youngest.
Your youngest. Have you co-signed a lease for any of your other children?
No.
What made you make the mistake this time?
Sarah was almost 21 and was in a position where she was ready to leave home and sort of spread her wings, but really didn't have a credit rating established yet so that she could not qualify for an apartment on her own.
Right, well that would mean that you could have 3 parents co-signing for 3 children.
That would have been a better option.
This is just a lesson for the future and for all those out there perhaps watching. Everybody who wants to rent an apartment, if they're children, 21 is still
Correct.
should have each parent or somebody else co-signing for them so you're not stuck with the whole bill.
Good advice.
So this is what happened. It didn't work out with the 3 girls. Your daughter and her friend moved out.
Yes.
And you want Miss Pennington to continue to pay just her share of the rent.
That's correct.
Are you still in the apartment?
No.
Did you leave the apartment after these 2 girls?
Yes, ma'am.
How many months?
1. They moved out in September, and the lease is up on October 31st, so I mean, I was only there for a month after they left.
Did you pay that month's rent?
No,
Why?
because I feel like I don't owe her nothing.
I know. Listen to me. Miss Pennington, you're living in the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
You're not being asked to pay any more than your original share.
Right?
So now you have to explain to me why you think it's fair that the plaintiff pay your share of the rent.
Because when we first moved into the apartment, the agreement was that me and Elisha would pay $450 a month and for Sarah to babysit our children while we went to school, work, whatever. And I felt like, okay, originally it's supposed to be $275, and I'm paying that much, and she's barely watching the kids.
What does that have to do with her?
Because that was our agreement.
Not with her.
Yes, it was.
With the plaintiff?
That was our agreement with Jeannie. That was why we moved into the apartment with
And
Sarah.
that changed on July 1st. She agreed to do some babysitting for a discount of the rent the first April, May, and June. However, July 1st, that babysitting agreement went null and void.
Why?
It was because Sarah didn't want to babysit first. She wanted to go out. She wanted to hang out with her friends. That was fine. And we only went out on Tuesdays. I mean, it wasn't a big deal. But we would have to call Jeannie and have Jeannie call her daughter just for her to watch our kids. And that was a part of the agreement.
Who was supposed to babysit? Stand
Sarah.
up. What happened in July?
You can. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Really, I don't know how important the details are, but it was becoming a hassle trying to arrange the babysitting.
How many children do you have?
I have 1 daughter.
How old?
She's 1 now.
When you moved into the apartment, where did you move from?
My mother's.
Were you working?
No, I was not.
Sit down, Sarah. I may not need you. You weren't working.
No, ma'am.
So what'd you need a babysitter for?
I had school, and my father was in the military, and he passed away. So I was receiving checks from him.
How much?
About $1,000 a month. So
That would be $1,000
Yes.
a month. Did you pay rent in July?
No, ma'am.
Ah. Did you pay rent in August?
No, ma'am.
September?
Nope.
Where did you behind sleep every night?
At the apartment.
then you have to pay rent. That's what grown-ups do.
Right?
Right now, you can't have a free ride. Right now, the government is paying you $1,000 a month because your father was in the military.
And she
just a
claims
second.
additional
Hey,
income.
just a second. $1,000 a month because your father was in the military, so you get $1,000 a month for doing nothing. And you have a responsibility to pay rent, which you are supposed to do if you're living in an apartment. And if you didn't want to pay rent, stay home. Do you get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I would have absolutely no sympathy for you if you were asking, because of what went on in the apartment, for her to pay the entire rent. I'd say, listen, that's kids playing house.
Right.
What? She's got herself, she's got a kid, and she's got government subsidy, and says, I don't have to pay rent. Somebody else should pay the rent for me. You think this is one big giveaway?
No.
Where's the father of your child? That's the smile. That's not a realistic answer.
He's really not around.
What do you mean he's not around? He may not be around, but he's got a responsibility to support the child, as do you.
That's not in his mind.
I don't care what's in his mind. I don't care if he's got nothing in his mind. I don't care if he's got sawdust in his mind. He didn't have sawdust all over. He has a responsibility to pay child support, as do you.
Well,
Are you working now?
Am I working now? No.
That's a question.
No.
Why not?
Because I'm in school.
What school do you go to?
I go to a PACE program where I can bring my daughter to school at
How many days a week do you go to school?
7.
How many hours a day?
5.
7, you mean 5.
I'm
You
sorry.
better stay in school. How old are you?
I'm 18.
Grow up. Go home. Did you go home to your mother?
Did I go home to my mom?
That's a question.
No.
Where did you go to live
When?
after you left this apartment?
I live with her,
Who's she?
Sharon,
Who else lives there?
her mother,
Yeah,
and her sister.
yeah.
That's it.
You mean so you're freeloading off her?
No, I'm not freeloading off of her.
Oh, so you pay rent?
I give what I can every now and then. I mean,
Listen to me.
I don't have
Listen
much,
to
so
me.
what you mean?
If you're old and smart enough to have a child, you're supposed to be smart enough to take care of yourself and not freeload. Otherwise, don't have children.
I'm not a freeloader.
Well, you are. When you live with somebody and say, give what I can, you're a freeloader. You freeload off the government, you're freeloading off her.
How am I
And you want to
freeloading off the
freeload off
government?
her. I don't understand it. I don't understand your thinking. I don't understand where you get this thinking process from.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She claimed much more income than she's telling you at this time. She had a very good job.
Listen to me. She's 18 years old. She has the judgment of a turtle.
And later today, her daughter's former roommate, Valencia Pennington, owes for rent and bills on an apartment that's in her name.
Okay, Pennington, you owe for 3 months' rent. How much does she owe you?
July, August, September, and October rent, which would be $1,400 plus a third of the electric bill, which comes to $148.68. Ma'am?
What?
At the time that she rented the apartment, she claimed much more income than she's telling you at this time. She had a
Listen to
very
me.
good job.
Listen to me. She's 18 years old. She has the judgment of a turtle. She's got a baby that's a year old whose father, she doesn't know what he's doing. She doesn't know where she's living. She moves from one place to another. She moves in with this lady's mother, gives what she can. She doesn't work. She has responsibility. She has no judgment.
Correct.
Your judgment was no better.
I agree. I have learned a big lesson.
Your judgment was no better, and you're a lot older.
True.
Now, she owes you $1,548. Go do something constructive with your life. That's all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Art is not excused. You may step out.
I'm a little surprised that the defendant doesn't seem to think that she really owed me the money.
I'm not a freeloader. I know what goes on, so it really doesn't matter.
I've gotten over that emotional part of it, and now it's just a matter of principle.
I still see Sarah around. She shows me her ultrasound pictures.
We didn't want to have drama issues.
Elisha, I don't really talk to her like that. Don't care.
It just got to be chaos.
Jeannie, I've talked to her a couple times. Really don't talk to her. Don't care neither.
No, it's made bad decisions, choices on who I live with.